Right now, I'm at the European Innovation Council stand, and I'm joined with Ben. Ben's been kind enough to talk a little bit about his product with us, what it's like to build and grow a company in Germany, but also France as well. So we've had a great chat off camera. But for those that don't know Ben, tell us who you are and what this company is building.
Thank you. My name is Ben Delay. I'm the CEO of BOYDSense, a French-based company that develops a non-invasive health monitoring platform via the exit breath to risk stratify, detect and monitor different diseases and chronic conditions. And we have two applications. The first one is a metabolism consumer product where we are measuring ketones, fat burn and carbohydrate levels. And the second product will be for early stage diabetes and pre-diabetes to measure glucose ranges.
It's incredible. And I know what people are going to be thinking, the accuracy level, for a new product. Talk to me about how accurate it can be starting out, and will it get to 100%?
Yeah, so it's a very important topic for us. We have started this journey 10 years ago. We have put a lot of effort into developing this device to the size that you see in my hand here. But the clinical science went on a similar space. We have finalized 4 clinical trials. We have done an initial clinical trial in UK in Warwick, second one in Toulouse in France with a university hospital. We are just wrapping up clinical trial number 3 and 4. We see an extremely good performance already. We have an embedded software, an algorithm that we trained over the years, which also becomes better with the technology we have. There's a miniaturized breast sampling module, there's a sensor array inside the device, and all of that helps to really come to good performance. We are constantly publishing our results at leading congresses, European Diabetes Congress, American Diabetes Congress. You usually find us there, and we are supported by well-recognized and well-known diabetes and metabolism key opinion leaders, which is quite important as well.
So good, health tech and using AI for good, to better the world and increase people's chances of living longer and living healthier as well. A lot of people on my channel are always interested in what it's like to grow a company in different countries. So can you tell us, I know you've done Germany and France, if I'm getting that correct. What is it like to grow or start a company in Germany and France?
Yeah, so I'm more into Germany when it comes to building own companies. I own 3 actually. I have created some limited. It's not so trivial. I mean, you might have heard about bureaucracy challenges in Germany, which it is indeed if you want to create a limited. So you need to see a notary, you need to have some contracts in place, you need to have someone who supports you a little bit on tax advising. So it requires a little bit of brainstorming and thinking what is the right setup for your company. The question is, do you want to build a holding as well above, which might be interesting for tax reasons. But once it is done, after 3-4 months, and you have done some wise decisions, it will be really something where you can benefit in the next couple of years from. You need to go to a Chamber of Commerce and Trade, for example. That's another step you have to do. So there are certain steps you have to do. Do I regret to have built my company in Germany? So far not. I think it's good, and you also get some support.
Just so I heard you correctly, would that be fair to say there is a little bit of friction and it's a little bit difficult? Do you think the government or the entities could make it a bit easier to start a company in Germany?
Yes, I think there's a lot of debate currently ongoing on reducing bureaucracy, making things simpler. And I think for a company that could be a good step. To create a limited, you also need to bring 25,000 euros as own capital into the companies, which might be a barrier, right, for an entrepreneur if you don't have this amount of money, right? But there's other options as well. I mean, you don't need to start immediately with a limited.
And we've had a lot of interest recently from foreign investors asking us to ask what it's like to start or come into an entity without being actually based there. So we've spoken to some great countries who are talking about tax-free zones, government incentives, financial hubs. Like anyone watching this who is a foreign investor and looking at different markets, why might Germany be of interest? Like what is available to someone outside to come in?
So, I mean, we have government programs in Germany, right? There's a program called Sprint at the moment. You have some local programs or state programs in Berlin and Brandenburg, for example. They are very supportive for startups. That's one example. I mean, we are part of the EIC of the European Innovation Council, who are also extremely supportive, right? They brought us here to Gitex 25 in Dubai. They came with a 2.5 million grant and equity invested into us. it's a very selective process. It's fair to say. You need to deliver. You need to be good as a startup. You need to do your homework. And once you have been applied and once they have selected you, you have many opportunities to go to this event, to go to CES. They connect you with investors. They're doing corporate days, right? So there's a whole bunch of activities around that one, which is quite beneficial.
So it takes a lot of work at the start, but once you're in, they really look after you and want you to grow and flourish. I got one more bonus question. Back in the UK, we work with 2 venture capitalist funds and we help out their companies to grow. Europe is on fire at the minute in terms of investing into companies like Series A. I've seen a lot of Series A recently. What is the German VC market like for risk appetite?
I mean, I'm looking globally right now, so if you have an interest to invest into BOYDSense, please let us know. Medical devices is always a bit tricky and specific because you usually need to take a higher risk as an investor, right, to invest into these technologies. We're a bit in a stage where we have finalized the medical device development, but have to do with some more clinical trials to get CE marking or FDA approval for the medical product. The consumer product is different, but in that stage in between, you find a lot of investors who like to see revenue already or approval from the authorities, which we don't have. So happy to take any requests or to touch base if somebody wants to take a little bit of risk. We are closely to be ready with our product, and I think that's a gap right now that we see across not only in Germany but also in Europe, that this risk-taking for medical device development is lacking a little bit. Everybody jumps on AI, which I also understand. We even have an AI component in here, but it's also not always positive to be fully AI when it comes to regulation and so on. So we are treating that with a lot of respect and careful for the time being.
What a great interview. Thank you very much, Ben.
Thanks.
We really appreciate that.